Yeah.
You're at 109 right now.
So I was in Colombia and I saw black people and they gave me thumbs up. They gave me head nods. They said hello. They said buenas. When buenos dias. They said whatever. And they kept it moving. They kept it pushing. But they acknowledged there were moments of acknowledgement, head nods, thumbs ups, good morning, good day. Kept it pushing. It was beautiful. I saw black people throughout Colombia. It was affirming. When I was in the airport in Bogota, Colombia, I didn't see black businesses. I could not go to a quote unquote black restaurant and or excuse me, not black, but Afro Colombiano. I couldn't find that specifically. Not to mention, of course, all of the influences that are there in the restaurants that are present there that do come from Africa. Hell, I had a cup of coffee. That's Ethiopia right there. Okay, that's Africa. But there wasn't um, a dominant, pervasive presence that was visible. Okay, in Bogota, Colombia, and I was like, man, that's what I'm really missing. I got an overwhelmingly non-black, non-Afro Colombiano, non-black experience when I was at the Bogota airport. That's just my own personal observation, but it's a strong observation, right? Cut to when I arrived back at Los Angeles International Airport, and I was walking through the terminal. I think Terminal 6 or 7, United Airlines. I saw that Issa Rae, Hilltop Coffee, has a shop there. And there's like a little corner where it's Hilltop, it's Randy's Donuts, it's all of these iconic black hood, black and Latino, when I say hood, like a little corner. And it was like, oh, look, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I was thinking of when I was thinking of in Bogota, Colombia. Like, where are we? And there we were at LAX, which was like, oh, that's dope. So I want to give a shout out and just put that out there. Like, yo, Issa Rae is at LAX. Issa Rae by way of Hilltop Coffee. The Hood is at LAX by way of Randy's Donuts. I don't know what else was there. I didn't stop to patronize because I just landed. I was back in America. I was like, I gotta get home. All right, so there's that. But the beautiful experience was had while I was in Colombia. The black presence, beautiful. Um, I wish I had gone to more black communities in Colombia. For instance, you've got you got Cali, Colombia, which I learned about years ago, and I went to Cali. All right, and I went on the Afro Latino tour. So I got my Afro Latino injection. I got the boost of Afro Latino, Afro descendientes in Latin America. I got that. But aside from Cali, there's also Cartagena, which I didn't get a chance to go to. Mind you, these cities are very far from each other, so it's not like it was my fault that I didn't go. It was just wasn't in the cards for me on this trip. You got Cali, Cartagena, but then you have this country, I mean, excuse me, this city called Quibdo, Quibdo, right? Um, Only way I know of its existence is I watched Check in Effect, this brother's video, and he went to that city, and he was showing all of the Afro Colombianos there. That was dope. I had a layover in Bogota yesterday, I guess it was yesterday, um, and that layover was only about 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, and that time went so quickly. I did not get out of the airport, but I looked at the map while I was at in Bogota's airport, and I realized Bogota is really small. It's not a big city. Like Los Angeles is a big city. Like Bogota, nah, not so much. And I was like, damn, I could get to the edge of Bogota. Well, they did say it would take like 20 to 40 minutes to get to that edge. But I was like, it's only like 7 or 8 kilometers. I think that's less than 10 miles distance from the airport. I'm like, damn, that's it. But anyway, there's a community there. Well, there are several Afro Colombiano communities there that I was like, damn, if I had come to Bogota, I would have been able to chill with some more black people, Afro Colombianos. So the point here is this: I went to Colombia. I had a wonderful time, but what was missing was the Afro Colombiano presence, and I didn't get that in the cities where I was. And I did some research, and I found, hey, there are Afro Colombiano communities, and you just have to, search for them, do some research to find them. It's not just Cali and Cartagena, but there's that Quibdó, and then I'm sure there's some other communities just all around, you know, pockets in all parts of Colombia. Um, Let me see. When I saw a brother on our tour, I gave him a fist bump. It was cool. Um, and I got a chance to talk with him only after the tour was over. Just ask him, "Hey man, were you born here?" And he's like, "Yep." I asked him a few questions or whatever. He gave me, it was just a straight up, real quick chit chat or whatever. But he was getting off of the bus. It was the end of our tour, so we didn't have a chance to just become fast friends or whatever. It was just, "Hey man, tell me a little bit about yourself," and it was cool. So, as me being a black man in Colombia, there are some little things that I noticed and I wondered about. Yeah. All right, here's an example. Um, for the majority, okay, so where I was in, okay, first, no, I've got too many of these stories. Let's go to Chinchina, all right? It's not predominantly Afro Colombiano at all, okay? Nobody around there looks like me for the most part. You might find a little melanated, person or whatever. You're not gonna find some rich dark brothers unless they're from out of town, right? So here's the thing, right? I go to this restaurant, familiar restaurant. I've been there before, but I decided to be adventurous with what I order. So I order chicken soup. They serve me chicken foot soup. I look at the soup and I'm like, yo, I can't eat this. Mm-mm. It was too adventurous for me, too much of a stretch. I said, let me get something else. Of course, this was all supposed to be in Spanish. So she was like, all right, you don't want the chicken feet. Maybe you want the chicken or the internal organ soup, right? So she switches it. She swaps it out and brings me the internal organ soup. And I'm looking at it like, damn, it just got worse. I can't eat this either. Um, I'm, I'm personally, I'm okay with the organs. Only slightly more comfortable with organs than I am with the feet. So I tried the organ soup, but I just couldn't finish it. In fact, I took maybe 2 or 3 bites of it, and I was just like, nah, I can't even do this. All right. So the story goes, as I'm struggling to eat this meal, now mind you, I eventually ordered just fried chicken, French fries, and that was it, and something to drink, and some. Of course, it comes with an arepa, right? That's what I settled for because I was like, I can't eat the foot soup, I can't eat the organ soup. Let me get that fried chicken and fries. Okay, while I'm struggling with these two soups, I asked for the soup. I told her take it back. She gave me another soup. I was like, I can't eat this. There was this presumably homeless dude watching me, watching my every move from outside the restaurant, right? It was open air. He was just outside of the eating area. He was standing in the street, but he was watching me. And I'm like, damn, I can't eat this. I look up and the dude's like staring at me, like looking at me. He didn't utter any words, but the conversation was clear. He asked me, without saying anything, he asked me with his eyes, So what you gonna do with that food, bro? And I was like, well, damn. Apparently, I'm not gonna eat this. I looked at him. I'm like, you want it? Of course, I didn't say anything, but my eyes, my my body language said, "Do you want it?" And he was like, "Yes, I'll take it. I'll gladly take it." I said, "Okay." So the deal was set, man. The deal was set. We no words were exchanged whatsoever, but the deal was set. So I stood up. I walked over to where he was with the bowl of soup, with the food, and set it down at a table that was near to where he was standing. So he entered the restaurant and sat down at that table and commenced to eat the food that I had just presented him. It was a beautiful moment just to be like, hey, man, I can't do this. I'm sharing. You're poor. I'm helping you. There you go. But when I look at that situation, I'm like, how long was that man looking at me? Was he staring at me? Was he watching me? Was he following me? Like, where's the black man going? Because there aren't many blacks, if they're, you're not gonna see many blacks, moving through the city. Like, was this guy like on me, like white on rice? Like, I'm gonna see what's up. Or had he just noticed me when I was at the restaurant? Like, let me see what happened was with this dude right here. So there was that moment. Funny. I thought it was funny. I did not mind sharing, giving that meal to him. I paid for the meal, and he ate well that day. But I just was like, huh. Was he paying more attention to me because I'm a black man? And I'm sure that's what it was, right? Um, all right, so there was that moment being a black man in Colombia, in a small town. There was that moment. Um, what was the other moment? Black man. Um, I remember I was at the restaurant in Manizales, and I thought it was like sort of race, but oh yeah. Okay, yeah, Manizales. The same situation happened in Manizales. I go to this cafe, and I thought first the woman, I thought the waitress was being rude because I'm black. Like, what do you want? Why are you here? Because nobody else is black, right? She might have just been like, I don't like my job. It's just a normal day, regular day. You don't impress me. I don't need to impress you with any more. I don't need to do any effort. I don't need to make an effort for this job, whatever. But I ordered a coffee and I sat down. Same situation. There was a presumably homeless man standing outside the restaurant, and I guess he saw me, a black man inside the restaurant, and he decided to stand there and watch me. That's what I thought. He might have been standing there waiting for someone else, watching others, but I thought, man, here we go again. Another homeless man who sees me. Now, okay, in both cases, I did not mention this. These homeless men were not black men. These were not homeless black men in Colombia. These were just homeless dudes. They were of light complexion. These were like Colombians, right? But it was the idea that they saw a foreigner, a black foreigner at that, and they knew that something was different about the experience. So, just in the city of Manizales, the man stood there for a long time outside the restaurant, staring in my direction as if to say, hey, man, when you come out of this restaurant, help me. Help me get some of that stuff that you're enjoying right now. That's what that whole interaction seemed to be about. But I was taking my time, and I guess that dude didn't have a lot of time to just stand there and wait. But he stood there for a while. So much so that I noticed him. He just didn't stand there as long as I was there inside the restaurant. And so when I left, he was gone. So those were a couple of moments um, that I wonder about. But it was the reason why it even piqued my interest is because these were poor people who saw me and made a judgment, and they were like, "Well, you have money." And somehow I think they were communicating to me, all right, you have money, you should be able to help us too. Don't just help yourself. Sort of. It was an interesting. It was an interesting sort of communication that was going on. I was in Colombia. I was in Medellin. Within the last 24 hours. Yesterday, basically, and a little boy with his family were okay. Wait a minute. Let's go back to Manizales. I was standing in line to get money at the ATM, and a beggar, a homeless man begging, approached me. I handed him without hesitation 1,000 pesos. Bam, there you go. But I noticed like his awareness of my presence like shifted. Like he could tell, all right, everybody is Colombian, everybody. And then he saw me and he's like, he's different. So he approached me and he was like, will you help me? And I was like, there you go, 1,000 pesos. And he was happy and he moved on, right? Just because I'm different, just because I'm not, I don't look like a local, you know? Um, Then same thing in Medellin. There was a young boy. There was a whole family of indigenous people. I don't even want to call them Colombians because isn't that what we call present day? That present day region. But before that, there's the first tribes, the first the native people, and so uh, and they see. I don't even know the history as deeply as well as I know. I don't know the history in Colombia as well as I know the history in Peru or what tidbits, what little bit that I do know. Because in Peru, you've got the Andean people, and their language basically is Quechua. See, I know a little bit, and you can find them selling their wares on the street. Anyway, these are these Colombian natives. It was a pack of them. There were like 2 to 3 women, and then children with them, and they were trying to ask for money. And a little boy was barefoot on the street, and so they see me and they're on me like white on rice. Hey man, give me some money. In that moment, I had no cash, no efectivo. So I told them, no tengo efectivo ahora. But they didn't believe me. Little boy was on me like, come on, man, come on, man. I told him again, no tengo efectivo ahora. But he wasn't having it. He was like, come on, stop giving me that BS bull line. Come on. He had his hand out. He was like, come on. And I was like, where's the cajero? Where's the ATM? And the little boy was like, it's up here. It's up that way. So I was like, show me. I'll get some money. I'll take some money out and I'll share with you. No problem. No problem, little dude. So we walk up to this pharmacy that was open. I asked them about the cajero and they don't have one. So the little boy was wrong. And so the man says, no, you got to go down the street, turn left, and then go down the block and you'll find it. I said, all right, bet, I'll do that. So the little boy was there, and I told the little boy, I'm going to the cajero. I'm gonna go get some money for you, man. I'm gonna get some money for myself, but I'm gonna give you some of it too. No problem, man. I followed the directions. I got to the ATM. I got some money. I came back. That family was gone, so I couldn't help them. But the idea that they were on me like white on rice was like, damn, here we go again. So those are 3 little moments with being in Colombia, being a black man. Um, for the most part, encountering black people, I always said, what's up? If they were Afro Colombiano, I take it. If they were Afro Colombianos, then it was like all good. If they were African Americans, we weren't. I, I think I saw 2 brothers, 2 black. No, I think I saw more than 2 black brothers. I think I saw several black Americans, and they didn't say what's up. They did not say what's up. They were doing their thing, walking down the street and minding their business. That's what they were doing. The Afro Colombianos, the black Colombians, gave me thumbs up, gave me a buenos dias. They didn't stop. They didn't stop to say, "Hey, what's up, my brother? How you doing? Where you from? No, 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 no. Hey, yo, what's up? Hey, let's link. Let's Instagram." There was nothing. It was just an acknowledgement. I see you. To which I was the same. I see you too. I see you. And that was it. Colombia was beautiful. Those are my stories. That's just one of the many stories from.
You're at 109 right now.
Yes, you are.